Yo, welcome back to Warehouse Reacts, where today we are listening to Periphery, Mr. God. Now, this is their first single off the upcoming album, A Pale White Dot, which is coming out on May 15th, which I'm very, very excited for. We're going to be watching the music video because, I don't usually watch music videos, but it is Periphery, and so we'll watch it. It's only 3 minutes long. I guess for some background, Periphery is probably my favorite band. I kind of discovered them in 2019, which is the year that Hail Stand came out, Periphery 4. But I didn't listen to that album sort of all the way through at that point. I was kind of stuck on 3 songs. Icarus Lives I'd heard first and fell in love with because it was just a completely different sound to what I'd been listening to at that point. The second one was then Reptile, which just, if you haven't heard Reptile, then please go listen to it because it's a masterpiece. It's a kind of it's arguably their magnum opus. You've got like Race Car and maybe like Omega as well, but I'd say Reptile and Race Car are kind of their magnum opuses. Opie, I don't know what the collective term for it is. And then Stranger Things was the third one that I just couldn't stop listening to, and I just listened to those 3 songs over and over again because I thought these ones are really cool and I love listening to them. I think I was kind of scared, really, because up to that point, I was listening to stuff like Metallica and Avenged Sevenfold and Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium and, those kind of bands who are kind of on the precipice of heaviness, but not really anything like, sort of Periphery or sort of bands like that. And so I guess I was kind of scared to delve into the more heavy side of things. But then once I did, I think I listened to all of P4, their 4th album, Hailstan, or their 6th album, Hailstan, and kind of just fell in love with it all the way through. And then I went back and listened to their entire discography, and they really don't have a bad song. I know it's kind of, people like to be hyperbolic about certain bands and say, all of their songs are bangers, Periphery genuinely do not have a bad song. They're just fantastic. They're a fantastic band. And I love them. A Pale White Dot is kind of a strange album name because if you know anything about Periphery, they usually name their albums, P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. And the only albums that they haven't named after themselves, Periphery number, and then the subtitle of the album, are the Juggernaut albums, Alpha and Omega. And so kind of makes me think that this A Pale White Dot might be like a little concept album. I say little, it could be huge as well, but it's kind of exciting, I guess, because I love Juggernaut and I love the kind of story of Juggernaut, and both those albums through and through. I just love everything off of those albums. Oddly enough, this kind of thumbnail at least looks pretty similar to the Make Total Destroy thumbnail, which I'll put up on screen now. Just compare them side by side. You can see that it's just like Spencer screaming into a microphone or screaming into something in that thumbnail. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. Let's stop waffling and jump in. Here is Mr. God by Periphery. Here we go. It's already disgusting. Getting like Hell Below vibes. A bit spirit boxy. Sounds like Periphery. We're genting. Hello, Mark. Sounds like Dracul Gra, however you say that. Fat Dracula. Okay, that was Mr. God by Periphery, and it sounds like Periphery. It sounds like the heavier side of Periphery, which excites me. Yeah, I mean, this just battered you from the start. I mean, it was so heavy. Like I said, it gave me Hell Below vibes, where it's just kind of brutal and kind of doesn't let up, and it kind of stays in the same kind of vibe. It stays in the same kind of area for the whole song, and it's just kind of 3 minutes of like relentless, just heaviness and brutality. Spencer's vocals, as always, fantastic. He's kind of got this rounded quality to his vocals now, where I think he's kind of reached his final form with his vocals, for lack of a better term. He kind of, the way he picks his melodies, obviously we didn't hear too many kind of melodic segments in the song, but the way he picks his melodies is very interesting. And kind of very different to how other kind of vocalists in the genre would pick their melodies, and it just makes for more interesting listening, I think, which is great. I think the guitars, pretty sure they were 8 strings. They sounded low enough to be 8 strings. They could have been 7 strings. They could have been 9 strings. I'm pretty sure they were 8 strings. I didn't pay too much visual attention to the kind of video, as you might have seen. I was kind of headbanging and closing my eyes and trying to soak in the music, because I think as much as I do enjoy a music video, for me at least, if I'm kind of too fixated on the visuals of it, it kind of takes away a little bit of the song for me. The drumming is great, as always. Matt Halpin, is an insane drummer, and I just can't wait, really. I can't wait for this album to come out now, May 15th. And so, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be a concept album. I don't know if they're going to kind of stray away from the kind of P, number naming convention that they've had for a while, or if this is just a kind of a little break where they're doing like a different album, and then P6 will come later on. But we'll see. I'm very excited, and I'm sure other fans of Periphery are also very excited. But yeah, thanks for watching. That was Mr. God by Periphery, and I cannot wait for what they bring us on May 15th.